And we go on. What's wrong with the New York Times? All right? It's a very good opportunity. But I need 3 hours for that. However, the New York Times owns the Arno Publishing Company. It's a subsidiary of New York Times. A-R-N-O. The Arno Publishing Company will send you a list of their publications on request. Almost all of them are devoted to the subject of sexual perversion. The New York Times is very much interested in pushing homosexualism. And they're doing it by means of this subsidiary. It's theirs. It's not just a company that advertises it. They gave a big ad, a half-page ad, to these books. The New York Times has been pushing sexual deviation in a number of ways for a long time. That's only one facet of the influence of the New York Times. And therefore, when you bring the New York Times into your house, you're bringing a to'eva into your house. No question about it. There are other things. The New York Times is an influence that's anti-American. Now that sounds very old-fashioned, anti-American, because today everybody's anti-American. I'm not. We should be for the country, to build up the country. We believe in stronger defenses, in more money to build up an army, and navy, and air force. We believe in not siphoning off money to our enemies. Tremendous sums are going to our enemies. Tremendous sums are being wasted in this country. We can't begin to enumerate how many billions are going down the drain in this country to all kinds of crooks that are sucking the blood of the American taxpayer. Billions! Without any benefit to the country at all. The health, education, and welfare, that part of the United States government is corrupting the people with all kinds of wickedness, among which I'll just point out one: discrimination in favor of blacks and Puerto Ricans. They are forcing the post office. They are forcing the schools. They are forcing public institutions to take in a bigger percentage of what they call ethnic minorities than others, which means Jews are losing their jobs, not to people who are better equipped. The marriage system has been junked long ago. Everybody's in teaching those today. There's a survey made, Board of Education. Today you can take out the word of education. It's a board of misinformation. And they made a census how many Jews are in teaching. Are you white or black? Now that's against the Constitution. They did it anyhow. And that's the health and education and welfare ministry. And that office of the government. And then that jewel called sex education. You know what sex education is? It's to teach the children that sex is not dirty. That's what sex education is. The main purpose is to teach the children that sex is not dirty. Now, somebody said married sex is not dirty. Well, but they don't say married sex. And people who are ruled by an obsession to talk about sex, these people will be the teachers to the youth in the public schools. And they're going to preach to little children who should hear about teddy bears. Little children who should hear about Red Riding Hood. And they're being taught about sex from the cradle. They're being poisoned that this is the most important subject in life, and they see the gusto with which their depraved teachers are talking about it, and the teachers say it slyly. They act as if they're scientifically discussing the subject. These filthy fellows, they are reveling in the opportunity to talk about it. And therefore, all this is being paid for by us. I don't mention evolution. Evolution is being paid for by us. Expensive textbooks that costs $15 a book with all kinds of illustrations, extensive ones, on evolution, or being paid for without our money. And if you write a letter to the State Board of Education in New York State, in Albany, they answer your hearty letter. What do you mean? This is the consensus of educated opinion. So therefore, they force evolution even on yeshiva boys, yeshiva girls. You have to study it. It's in the regions. It's a terrible situation. And our money is being wasted. Now, I didn't start telling you our money is being wasted. All kinds of crooked schemes all over the country in the billions. Now, the New York Times is behind these things. The New York Times doesn't come up with any outcry against welfare. You know, welfare is draining the country's blood. The state unemployment insurance. There's so many loafers today who drop their jobs because they can live a whole year on state unemployment pension insurance. The whole country is rotten today with defaulters, with free travelers, with loafers, and they're getting money from the government. Now, the New York Times raise up its voice against that? It's always on the side of the liberals, more handouts, and more yielding to criminals, more concessions. When there was a poll, the New York News made a poll recently, and 68% were in favor of capital punishment. The New York Times, however, ridiculed the whole thing. Capital punishment, we'll never go back to that barbarism again. And so, it's punishment of decent citizens. So instead of murdering the criminals, they murder their citizens. So, if you want some more information, I'll be happy to speak to you in private. Back to our subject.